Hi, Cancer. Welcome to the space. Thank you for being here. Thank you so very much. All right. Well, the Heron showed up for you when I was about to start your reading. And so we're going to read a little bit from the Medicine Cards book about this, okay? Maybe you want to just pay attention. They like to be around water, right? They're a water bird. Very graceful bird. So it says Heron, thank you, sacred water bird, for sending reflections to me, the mirrors of this quest for life, the worlds that live inside of me. Show me how relationships work, with my path woven within the whole, the lessons of kinship with all life, reflecting my spirit's eternal goal. This is Heron medicine. It represents self-reflection, according to this book, anyhow. It says Heron medicine is the power of knowing the self by discovering its gifts and facing its challenges. It is the ability to accept all feelings and opinions without denying any emotion or thought. It says Heron flies over those who are unaware of who they are and where they belong in the world. Gently dropping a blue feather to them, the Heron asks that they follow their intuition and begin the empowering journey of self-realization. Excuse me. It says, with Heron showing up today, and the woodpecker, it is urging you to dive into the watery world of feelings and to seek your truth. It's helping you to develop self-reflective, and I heard for some of you can be, because it flew from the southwest to the northeast. Okay, that was the direction it's going. I find the northeast, this is there's a diagonal line here, so one point to another. Okay, Heron teaches you to develop your self-reflective skills so that you may come to know yourself in an intimate way. Looking at yourself through the filmy lens of self-importance, the cloudy perceptions of low self-worth, or the myopic eyes of self-pity, you will never understand your true potential or appreciate the opportunities that appear. Heron asks you to examine yourself with a cold eye and to see what you wish to improve and how you want to change. If you become stuck in a process, it may be a sign that you are being too hard or too critical. Choosing to blame others or pointing a finger at life situations instead of claiming responsibility for your own actions shows that you may lack the courage to face the enemy within. Can you see the sun coming behind the clouds? It says Heron medicine people are willing to look at themselves and to see the truth of their motives, actions, feelings, dreams, goals, inner strengths, and inner weaknesses. In balancing these truths, the Heron will show you how to meet challenges of your personal weaknesses and how to continue developing the skills that lead you to inner strength and certainty of purpose. Like the phoenix rising, who rises from its own ashes, the Heron emerges from unseen worlds into a new balanced sense of self in order to embrace its potential again and again. The magnificence of your human spirit lies waiting for the joy of discovery, if you are courageous enough to follow the sacred water bird throughout its journey. Heron reminds you that every traveler on your life's path is a messenger, and that every destination is the beginning of a new cycle on the medicine wheel. It's like you're going back home. You know what I mean? I know you're finding your way, but I also know that there are distractions along the way, right? There are challenges along the way. No big deal. No big deal. Okay, let's see where you're at. Just a minute. Hold on a second, Cancer. Well, I guess some of your lessons at this time are sort of amplified. They're amplified. So, I heard be aware of self-pity. Be aware of judgments. Be aware of, right, because if you're on the path and then all of a sudden there's some challenge. Now this for some of you, this definitely could be happening in this moment. And for others of you, this could be happening more towards in the future, where the challenge is like where it's a little bit bigger maybe. But I sense this is a test of that cloudiness of vision. Right? You want to make sure that you're seeing things clearly. Where I am, the southwest represents the desert. The northeast represents, like, the forest. You know, so obviously the Heron's showing you something about, because to me the desert is a place where we go to mourn things, right? It's a place of, where people go on their quests, you know, to find themselves, because there's not much else around in the desert besides you. And perhaps some spiky or scary things, right? But that isn't the Heron was coming from that, was left that place and now is heading towards the forest, where there are beautiful swamps with lakes full of fish, right? I feel like you're one of your pillars is Libra, right? And I believe they talked about something about the fish also. Maybe some of you are kind of connecting to, or you connect to Jesus's story. Right? Food is very important to you, right? What nourishes you in this physical way is very important to you. Yeah. So I would say that if for some reason wherever you are, especially if it feels a little bit like you don't have the energy, you don't have the, again, there's a test upon your path. I need you to know that you are safe and loved and protected in that. But check your diet, and the way you're treating what you're taking into your body, right? And how that comes out, because this is going to show the health of something also. Yes, especially on how you feel. It will alter it some. Again, when we don't feel good about something, or we're worried about something, this can totally cloud our vision to what the reality is that's right in front of us, right? That could have to do with some old fear, you know. But the thing is I don't sense that you really have anything to be concerned about, right? Every day is actually literally a sunny day, right? Even at nighttime, the sun is somewhere shining. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I need you to keep this mentality strong. I heard strong inside of you. Excuse me. I heard you don't have to agree with everybody. Everybody doesn't have to agree with you. And I see there is a way to resolve the problem beyond hiding in your shell. When, for whatever reason, it gets to a place. Now, I see if you have to, for some reason, protect yourself, then Cancer, protect yourself. But you really don't have to. And meaning, like, there's nothing for you to be afraid of. And I guess fear is also that clouded vision in some kind of way. Huh. Alright. Let's see here. What is the day? Well, I heard let's try to be practical about this. Let's be practical about this. You can't save the world, Cancer. Any of you who feel that way, you're sextile to Taurus. It's impossible for you to put the please don't put the world's pain on your shoulders. I just felt it too. Okay, don't put the world's pain on your shoulders. And remember that, now I know not all of you, I know some of you have learned this lesson, right? You can't carry, right? Taurus is the same thing. So I get those big shoulders. It's like carrying the weight of the world. It's like you can't, it's not, sometimes, yes, you can help something get to a different place if it's along your natural path. But knowing your own path is important, and I need you to remember that although, so check this out, a crab, right, walks sort of in a, if it's, say it was here, it sort of goes straight, and then it does kind of like a zigzag, right? And I find that it goes to one side and it like looks around, and then it comes to the center point, and then it checks it out and sees if it's safe, and then goes to this other point, and then goes back to the center. This heron is just a straight line, right? So you're obviously streamlining towards something. What do I see? Just a second. Sorry. It's like you're reinforcing something that you've been mending. Right? You're going over, it's like, yeah, okay, zigzag stitch, right? Okay, zigzag stitch. Yeah, that's a good stitch. That'll hold. But if you have something coming down the center of that, or on either side of that, right, connecting these points, it's going to make like a clearer, more stable path that doesn't go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And so I guess this also means that with you, there's something kind of in your heart that's sort of a shadow part that you had. It's like you have to go over it multiple times, right? You make the zigzag stitch, which again is a slower process than most other animals, right? Children, for instance, just run. I mean, they might run a little bit like this, but they're always, there's a line to it. But you have to go back. It's like you went back to the beginning. And I feel like most of you have already been here, and this is where this reinforcement is happening. Now, of course, everyone's on a different point in the path, but you had to go back to the beginning of something to be able to, and you had to add something to whatever you were working with, right? And you had to do it yourself so that you can, again, reinforce what you have already mended and put in the ground or put into place. Okay. Ketzer. You also have the sun in your night section, or the evening section rather. So, okay, I see. If you're, so there, some people are born at night, some people are born during the day, right? I especially see that if your sun is below the horizon, this is, there's more, well, this, I guess this is emphasized. If you pay attention, look at your chart and see, is your sun, are you a daytime chart? Are you a daytime baby or you're a nighttime baby? Because the nighttime baby is going to be a little darker, right? Because the sun is where the moon is. So just be aware of that. And maybe this has to do with, I feel like there was a Cancer eclipse a couple years ago, right? There's something about that too. Because again, I heard you move a little slower through certain processes because of the pattern of your animal. And so I see, please be okay with whatever that process is that you're working through right now. And then I heard again, please be also practical, right? Yes. Keep yourself clear. If you are cloudy, again, for some reason, you can't see something, you can't get out of your head about something, maybe you need to sit down and self-reflect on like where you've come, say the last 5 years. And I feel like for you should talk about it during the day, in the light of day, versus, yes, instead of talking about it at nighttime, right? And I guess this also represents being kind of more positive about it when you're talking about it, because whatever it gave you, whatever the difficulties that you have had to endure, say the last 5 years or so, like things that you've had to address, abandonment, suffering, things of this nature, I see, please self-reflect in the fact that how much you have gained via not having something. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, have gratitude. Have a deep gratitude. Yes, please, because that deep gratitude, because we all have tests. Even if you think that you are a highly elevated person or whatever that means, nobody's perfect and ain't nobody figured it out. You know what I'm saying? So no, Saturn says so, right? But there's always more to forgive. There's always more to put at peace, and sometimes there can be uncertainty, or rather we can have certainty that something is what it is, but then it's very important to be like, okay, wait, is there any uncertainty in this? And think about that, so that there is some sort of reflection back. And I sense that you know that those of you here are, yes, have become so strong. You know what I mean? Yes, becomes confident in yourself. But I do feel like so we'll have a little astronomy lesson. So Cancer's constellation, which you actually can see now in the sky, all of Cancer's stars are sort of they're not the biggest and the brightest. They're kind of dim. It's sort of a darker constellation. I mean, if you have binoculars, you can get closer to it and see the beauty of what it is. But to be able to see that beauty, it has to be nighttime. You have to be in the dark to see this light. And the light is dim sometimes, so you have to really, this is you, Cancer, if you think of you as a person, and you are this energy up in the stars, right? Your sun, your light is now connected to this constellation, which affects how people feel, right? So you need to ensure that your light is bright, and that is illuminating, so that people feel safer in who it is that who they are, via how much you love yourself and are at peace with yourself. And I heard again, it's not easy because most of the stars in Cancer, they're difficult, fixed stars wise, they're kind of difficult. So this is being a Cancer sun is actually very challenging, and it's obviously some sort of karmic lesson of, if you are ruled, they say you're ruled by the moon. If you are a sun Cancer, you are an eclipse. You are an enigma. You know what I'm saying? So that puzzle needs to be figured out for yourself. And I see that you can do it. You are doing it. And again, I saw something about being practical. So let's actually look into some practical things. I see for most of you, be aware of how you're talking about money. Okay. Also about the past. And I see, make sure that, just a minute. Right, because how we talk about it, what it was and what it is going to be the seed that we plant. Right, and that it is important. I mean, maybe it sounds a little hippy-dippy, like I'm not all for, personally, like keeping everything positive all the time, because ignoring things is ignorant, right? Ignorance. But being positive is important, equally so. So let's see what's going on with like work or creativity. Okay, so some of you may have a little bit of a blockage there. You can't see something there yet for some reason. This is where maybe you need to self-reflect and work also. I just saw someone in their studio, like sitting back or even in their house. It's like you're pulling back into this further space, and you're like, okay, this is what I'm working with. Right? Yes. And then that changes everything. Whatever it is that you can't see or you're kind of stuck about mentally, like this could even just be an idea. It could be writer's block for some of you, but all of a sudden there's something that comes out that's very expressive. Please pull yourself back and look at what you have. Whatever, like wherever your job is too, specifically. Like where is the work section and what does that look like? Okay. I really feel like if you are worrying about, well, let's move along. Let's see, let's see about other people. You're affected by them a lot, right? Or you let yourself, rather, be affected by them a lot. You can, if you're not paying attention. Other people. So, well, I guess you could remember something. I also feel like some other people around you are going through some really heavy stuff. This could also be how you feel about other people could be a little bit heavy. I don't know if some of you have like some anniversary now, or somebody's birthday, or somebody's death day, or just maybe you're just thinking about the past, right? Like, remember, your light is very important. That clarity, right? You know, love doesn't, you know this, love doesn't have to come through a word, right? And if anything, actually, words kind of hurt. They can hurt. Maybe there's something like that where someone said something to you, or I don't know, like, or someone says something to you, and it triggers you into feeling a certain kind of way that reminds you of some old feeling in relation to some old situation. If that's the case, I see, remember, you are in control of how you think, you are in control of how you feel, and if you continue to reaffirm this, then your friendships become better, your communication and expression of how you feel becomes better. What the vibration or the words, the lexicon, the energy behind it becomes something that is a more balanced feeling, more loving feeling that doesn't have any expectation exactly to other people and what they're supposed to do. Because however you feel, Cancer, is technically your definition of self. So be aware of what that is, right? Like, maybe you want to say to yourself, like, I feel blank, blank, blank. Whether you say, like, 3 feelings, 4 feelings. Didn't we talk about this before? Did you play the game yet? If you haven't played the game, all right, and you weren't here before, let me remind you again. Please take 4 pieces of paper, and this would be cool if you already did it, because then you can see what the difference is, right? Compare and contrast, self-reflect. So take 4 pieces of paper after this reading's done, and write I feel at the top, really big, really big. You can be ornate if you want to, and then all 4, and then you start at the beginning, and I feel blank, one word. How do you feel? And do it for all of them, and then go back and explain to yourself, literally with a pen and paper, why you feel that way. And perhaps make it a bit unconscious, because you may actually, oh baby, I know, you may actually see something, again, reflectively, like in a reflective way, that will help you to feel better about it. Maybe during that writing process, you realize, like, you would say, I don't know, I just saw someone say, I feel scared. And then it's like, okay, well, I feel scared because, you know, da 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 da. And because of that, it reminds you of another time that you felt like that because of whatever, right? Some time that was in the past where you didn't feel strong. But that doesn't mean that you don't have the capacity to, obviously, like, all the blessings that are the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of, all these blessings that people talk, they're around us all the time. Again, all things are messengers to a certain extent. Trippy, Cancer. Now the thing is I do feel like a lot of you here are aware of what we talked about. I don't think anybody here exactly is on the very beginning of this path, and if you are, that's totally okay, and congratulations for being on whatever on the path means. But again, as you go along, right, the crab is a zigzag, and so you're going to cross back over a lot of, throughout your life, you're going to cross back over what you've already done. And remember that this is just part of your process. Now, again, you don't have to be the crab all the time. You know, you could be the mountain goat that goes straight up the hill. Maybe that's what reinforces it, is the goat. Right? Interesting. Let's do one more. 2 of Cups. Who do you love? How do you self-reflect in love too? You know, you kind of, again, you rule love in a sense, and good feeling, you know, feelings, but good feelings, if it's feelings, and home, and things that are comfy, and food in the belly, right? Really, really beautiful stuff. Yes, very, very beautiful things. So be grateful for your home. be grateful for the past. Feel good about where you're going. And remember that the Heron is also helping you to see where it is that you might need to just take a different look at something. You know what I mean? Like, have a different perspective. Right? Because time just keeps going along. Do you know what I mean? Like, we deal with stuff, and then all of a sudden, but we have to still, like, go to work and pay the bills and provide for our children and our families and take care of the garden and you know, take care of yourself and all of these things. And it takes a long time to process things, so enjoy the ride. And I see, please self-reflect, especially on any relationships that you've had romantically, marriages, family, things of this nature. Like, just again, reflect in those spaces, you know. Maybe you want to go through each one of them and just see, you know, ones that are significant to you. Yeah, it could be very helpful for you to be more conscious in your choices and to be able to see more of those blessings. If for some reason, again, things are cloudy, it will help you to see more of what you actually have, right? Right. Thank you for being here. Any of you who are still here. I do appreciate you, Cancer. I've had a lot of Cancers in my life, Cancerian folks. Even a triple Cancer came into my life once. Really, really trippy. But the point is that I thank you for the lessons. I thank you for being you. Especially those that have that Cancerian energy when you're in the moon, right? Everything's dark and it's kind of scary, and you don't know where you're going, right? Again, like the moon card, and then you just keep on trucking. You know what I mean? And you're not running because you're afraid. You're just walking because you know you got to keep going, and you end up in the light of it. You know, a big smile. I just saw a big, like, smiling crab. Take care of yourself, and thank you for being a part of this garden of life here over on Patreon. Really, in your lives. It's really amazing. I do appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Peace.